Okay, so this is my spoiler review of the new Hulu series Catch-22. If you haven't watched it yet, watch my spoiler-free review first and then come back to this after you have seen it. Now, I had really low expectations for the show. Yes, it's a George Clooney project, which is exciting, but my cup of tea is usually not war stuff, and also I'm not a big fan of satire. But this won me over. This was a pleasant surprise for me. Breaking this down, I don't know how anyone watching this could think that that was a bad acting performance. Christopher Abbott was amazing as the lead here as Yo-Yo. I thought he hit every note to a T, and I loved watching him on the screen. I couldn't keep my eyes off of him. Like, he was so likable in a way too, and it's a complicated character to play, and I thought he just killed it. Um, Knowing that you have these big stars around you and they have minor roles and you're kind of asked to carry the load, he did one hell of a job, and that's clearly why he got this part. I wonder if you've recognized him from The Sinner. He was Jessica Biel's boyfriend in that, so it was cool to see him actually show his acting chops. It's a welcome addition to a huge roster of great actors in the game right now, and he's definitely going to go near the top for me. This performance was awesome. I standout scenes I really thought was humor-wise had to be in that final episode when he's walking around in Italy and his balls got all messed up. Oh my God. When he was walking like that old man, I could not stop laughing. That was hysterical. And they blended this just heavy themes and so dark, but they blended so well with humor. And it really worked. And they didn't hold on to that crutch that annoys me of like, oh, let's just do humor about George Clooney dancing and it's funny because it's George Clooney. They didn't fall into that trap, which I was afraid of. So I really appreciate that. Kyle Chandler, great as usual. I wish Hugh Lowry was used a little more here. That was a little disappointing. He was very light in a role. It could have actually just been anyone who played him. I don't think they used his best stuff, but it was good to see him on screen. And man, that actor of Milo was really good. And Milo is such an interesting character. And how this show just shows you so much themes. And Milo being this just epitome of greed and the American dream and its bad side, its good side, where he's just this big dreamer and he's getting all these crops and he's just a businessman at heart, but it's also just bad. I mean, he's doing a lot of messed up stuff, and Kyle Chandler's character is aboard with it too. So you're seeing all these guys are putting their necks out on the line, bombing stuff, and they're just making business and profits out of it. It's such a smart story. I never actually read the book. I want to now. That's how much I like the show. It made me want to read it, and I understand why they would want to make a show on this. It's very powerful. I mean, the way they killed significant characters and his friends, but it wasn't overdone somehow, even though they did a lot, and every time you felt it. I even felt when the new kid died, and that's really hard to pull off because you're just meeting a person and they made you feel so many emotions. And even just the stuff in Italy with the woman and how that guy ended up raping this girl and killing her, and that was foreshadowed with him talking about his college days. And they really let a lot of things pay off here, which was nice. And when he's walking around nude, it was just, wow, it's just so much about humanity and just him being basically a man now and not wearing the uniform and going to these standards because he really deep down doesn't believe in it. And it's just all about the Catch-22 line, you know, and they present it well with the doctor saying it in the beginning, how basically if you want to leave, then they know you're not insane and you're trying to be crazy, and that's the reason. But if you're saying that, you're totally saying you got to stay. That's the whole Catch-22 of it, and they made sure that theme was strongest, and it worked. And they made this not feel repetitive. It was smart. They only did 6 episodes or something like this. They got the point clearly, and it wasn't beaten over. It was always something you were interested in to see what would happen. It was exciting. It was funny. I think one of my few complaints was just that it did feel like a show, though, where episode 1 was great, and then The Odd Number, episode 3 was great, but 2 and 4 were like, it was a little slow. Could have moved a little quicker, but overall, it was really, really good. And I just think that it was such a effort put into this, which is really rare with so many shows rushing to get things out now and so much content. And this is another hit for Hulu. I definitely think having them always crutched onto Handmaid's Tale, this is something that can go in the category of like, oh no, I think a lot of people will talk about this and this will be very popular because it feels like a rare taste of almost when like 90s TV was really good in that sense. It felt like that. It just had that heart to it, I guess. And you just learn a lot. I just think it's one of those shows you can throw on with your family and you all will have something from it. You're all gonna like it. And what a way to just make you really think about war. And so many shows and movies will hit these themes about war, but this still felt fresh. And it, I mean, took a very popular novel, and I think if you've read the book, you had to have liked this, right? I mean, please let me know. I haven't read it, and let me know if those people are satisfied with this, because as a show, I thought it was excellent. And the cinematography was just beautiful. The setting was great. And I bought all of it. I was never like, oh, this actor's screwing this scene up, or it was, everyone's putting in their 110%. So I'm happy this turned out great. So I am going to give this one a 9.1. Let me know what you thought of it down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I read every comment and try to respond as many as I can. Please follow me at SteveVarley1 on Twitter and Instagram for more of me. And please make sure to subscribe. I review a bunch of TV shows. I do movies. I also do celebrity interviews. I have one with Craig Ferguson I just did, so make sure to check that out. And I'll see you next time.